Hey guys, Jeff here from Films at Home, and today we've got to talk about what's going to happen here in the world of physical media for 2024, because there are some changes coming that are going to affect the way that you buy physical media. So thanks for coming back to the channel today, guys. I'm going to jump right into it because I have already posted this information over on Instagram and TikTok a couple of weeks back in a shorter video that I did in partnership with Studio Distribution Services, but this will be a longer explanation with some more information for the YouTube audience. So real quick context, since I went out to LA in September for the Media Play News 40 Under 40 event, which I was so lucky to be a part of, I started talking to some of the team members at Studio Distribution Services prior to that event, at the event, and after the event. And we've kept up, and hopefully we're going to work on some really cool things in the future. But one of the things that they've been looping me in on and helping me spread the word on is what's going on with physical media, because Studio Distribution Services is the physical media arm and home entertainment arm of Warner Brothers and Universal. And obviously one of their goals is to push physical media sales. So what they let me in on back in December, January, and what I posted to Instagram and TikTok were some serious changes that are coming to the way physical media is going to be handled going forward at major retailers. But I want to give some context because it is a little more nuanced than what a 1-minute video could give you. So really, I think there's three big things to talk about that we're going to cover in this video. First is who's in and who's out. Best Buy's pulling out. Is Target pulling out? What's Walmart got going on? I'll cover all that. The second thing is a new release schedule. I'll talk about how that's going to affect major studio titles, catalog stuff, and all the boutique labels. And then the third thing is really what's the viability of the market, what's the future of physical media looking like in 2024, and why I am optimistic, as well as many others, about this being a market that's alive and well for a very long time into the future. So first thing, like I said, let's talk about the retailers. So yes, Best Buy is pulling out of the physical media game. If you go to their website right now, they are having some sales on some of their steelbooks. They're clearing out their stores. Many of you have already seen this. I talked about this months ago, but basically in about a week's time, in February of 2024, they're supposed to be done with physical media. Who knows where their stuff will go? It may go to wholesale. You could see some Best Buy exclusives showing up at like a Big Lots, a Dollar Tree, like who knows? Whatever's left, they're probably just going to offload at the cheapest possible price and just get rid of their stock. But they are going to be done. There's not going to be anything else in stores. There's not going to be anything online. They're going to pull all that away, and they're shifting their business in a different direction to focus more on the big home appliances, electronics, smart devices, cell phones, things like that. Now, a lot of you have also asked about Target, and I was talking back a few months ago about how Target seemed to be changing what they were doing too. And this ties in more to the second point of the retailer release schedule changing and Target just being the first one to actually start implementing it. So Target is still in the physical media game. Yeah, the sections could be shrunk down depending on where you live and what your store is doing in terms of media. It's all going to be kind of store by store based. They have to make the right business decisions. If they have a store that's not selling any physical media, they'll probably shrink the section down. You will see it shrunk down, but they're still going to carry the major releases. They're still going to sell physical media online. And now with Walmart, with Best Buy dropping out of physical media, we've already started to see the shift to Walmart happening. And that's actually a strategic move by Walmart. They want to do more in physical media. I believe right now in North America, they are the biggest seller of physical media, even before all these changes. And now they're going to start to get those Best Buy exclusive steelbooks and some of the stuff like Lionsgate was doing that was going to Best Buy. That's going to start to come to Walmart. Walmart is going to probably be the biggest brick and mortar retailer for physical media going forward. And so we've already started to see them announce that some of the Lionsgate steelbooks are being reprinted as Walmart exclusives. Walmart is also going to do a line of steelbooks themselves. In February, March, you'll see some of this information come out. They are making a really concerted effort to push movies and media as part of their strategy going forward. And of course, all of this will be available on their website too, but you will start to see, and you probably already have in many Walmarts, I know my local Walmart has this section already, but there's dedicated steelbook sections now. There's still a full wall of movies. They're going to be focusing in on physical media and taking that big chunk of the market that Best Buy is leaving behind. So they see an opportunity and they're grabbing it. Now, of course, there are other retailers out there, online and in stores. Our Barnes & Noble is still selling physical media in stores. You have great local retailers all over the place like an Orbit DVD or a Bull Moose or an Archive that Vinegar Syndrome owns, and they have multiple stores. Like, there are these places around, and then there's the online stores, the Groove.com, the Diabolic DVDs. These places are still out there. It's still a very viable market. Now, shifting to release schedule, this is where things are going to get very interesting going forward. If you've been collecting Blu-rays, DVDs for as long as I have, you know that every Tuesday there are new releases. Major studio stuff, whatever came out, there's always new movies coming out to theaters every Friday, right? And so every Tuesday, the home entertainment releases come out, and typically there's 2 or 3 at least from the major studios, and then lots of smaller catalog titles, boutique labels, but it's every Tuesday for the most part that you get those, and it's definitely Tuesday for the big tentpole movies. That's now shifting as of February 2024. Those major tentpole releases are going bi-weekly. And so that's what Target was doing, and why you were seeing some of the movies not be on the shelves at Target. They started shifting bi-weekly like back in the fall. Everyone else is following suit, and this is an industry-wide, studio-wide endeavor. So to give an example, say a movie like Barbie was to come out one Tuesday and Oppenheimer was to come out the next Tuesday, those would now be spread apart by 2 weeks. You might get Barbie on January 6th, and then you'd get nothing on the 13th for major studio titles, and on January 20th, you'd get the next wave with Oppenheimer and other titles. It's going to make the market a little more competitive. I actually don't mind. It's going to give us a little more time in between each release week to save up some money, get some of these releases in, and I don't think it'll have that big of an impact, but what they're doing, it's totally for business purposes. It's to help physical media stay alive, to help keep manufacturing costs, warehouse costs, shipping costs, distribution costs, to keep all of that down so they can keep selling physical media at reasonable prices and make sure that we're not running out of stock. Oppenheimer being out of stock in the first week is a great example. They just don't have infrastructure right now to print enough of those movies when there's a huge demand like that. So by going bi-weekly, you're going to see less problems with stock issues. Now, I mentioned Barbie and like Oppenheimer as examples because this is only going to affect those major studio titles, the new theatrical releases. So your Lionsgate, Warner, Paramount, Universal, Disney, etc. Their major theatrical releases are bi-weekly. I fully expect that some of the boutique labels, like a Vinegar Syndrome, a Shout Factory, Criterion Collection, Arrow Video, you name it, they're going to keep doing things on their own schedule. They have their own distribution. They have their own, business decisions that they need to make. Like, they're not going to be affected by it. It's purely at that major studio level, and it's purely for like the brick and mortar retailer releases of those big theatrical titles. So there could be catalog titles that are online exclusives that do come out in between the 2-week schedule. There are going to be boutique things. There could be things that are happening in between each week. But if you look at, movies that are out right now with like Mean Girls, like that's going to come out 1 week, and then 2 weeks later, there will be another set of theatrical releases. That's just the way it's going to work for all those major movies. And finally, just physical media as a whole and the viability of the market. I think that there's been a huge shift in support for physical media lately because of Christopher Nolan in his outspokenness when Oppenheimer came out, and all of his discussion on physical and wanting people to experience it in the best way possible at home, having ownership. Guillermo del Toro hopped on that train, and now you're seeing a lot of major publications, especially towards the end of last year and into early 2024, start to publish articles about the importance of physical media. And there have always been those articles, but you're starting to see it now. I was featured in an article on CNN, Underscored, which is their tech publication. I was interviewed for an article for The Verge, big tech publication online. I'm going to be featured pretty prominently in that article. They reached out to me and they're doing something on physical media. I talked to eBay News about physical media. I've been doing a ton of work with Whatnot and their app on supporting physical media, promoting movies, DVDs, even VHS, all these different physical media formats. And I keep getting the requests all the time from major publications who want to talk to me, and I'm sure others, about physical media as more people are sort of discovering it and maybe jumping back in, especially as streaming just gets so fragmented. And, really the streaming services aren't making a ton of money. So they need other revenue to come back. And there's still this amazing community of people who want to own their favorites. And, like I always say, do you need to buy every release? No. There's no issue with streaming. There's absolutely no issue with watching something on a digital platform. I have all the streaming services. It's not a crime. You can do both. I'm a prime example of that. I watch just as much Netflix and Hulu and HBO Max and Paramount Plus, and I enjoy shows on there, primarily TV shows and documentaries, but I enjoy them on there just as much as I do my physical media. At the end of the day, it's about the content and the movies and what you want to watch and what you love. I love it so much that I put it on a shelf and I collect it, but some people just want to stream it. Like, realistically, the whole physical media versus streaming thing, I don't love it. You can do both, and you probably should do both to just have the best entertainment experience out there, because lots of stuff will never hit physical, lots of stuff will never hit streaming. You sort of have to do both, but there definitely is a shift in more people recognizing that, man, I wish I had my old DVDs or my old, Blu-rays that I got rid of because I can't find this movie or that show, and this movie's been slightly altered for whatever reason. Like, there's a lot of people coming around to that, and so it's a good thing. It's just going to drive more interest in what we love, and should help us end up with better physical media, collector's editions, limited editions, which have been incredible so far. So that's the quick update. I want to tell you guys here on YouTube, give some more context to what was going on. I think it's important. It's a lot of, I think, good changes. Anything that's going to help the business is a good thing. You got to remember, physical media is a business. If they don't make money and they can't pay employees and they can't cover their costs, then they go down the drain and we get nothing. So they have to make smart business decisions. And I think that, the consolidation of studio distribution services was a really good step in the right direction. Walmart stepping in and making a smart business decision to pick up Best Buy slack, good decision. Going bi-weekly, another good decision to help keep costs down. Don't have to ship things every week, don't have to manufacture things on such a tight schedule. It all makes sense to me to keep this a really viable business for the long term. And I do see that that's the shift that's happening now. There seems to be more of an importance being placed on, hey, let's make sure this business works for the niche market that we now sell to. We can't do it the way we used to when you could sell 1 million DVDs in a week. And I think they're following, some of the business practices that some of the boutique labels have done that's made them successful. But, it's a business thing. So as long as they're making good business decisions, hopefully they stay in business and we keep getting this stuff as long as people keep supporting it and wanting to buy it. So that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope it was helpful. Hope you got some information that maybe you didn't hear. Obviously, I'll keep you guys informed here and on all my social media channels. So make sure you follow me everywhere. We never know when one of these platforms is going to go down or take content off. If you follow me everywhere, join my email list, like those types of things, then no matter what happens with the platforms, I'll still be able to feed you the information. So make sure you check out all the links down in the description. And of course, support your local retailers, support your local shops, your indie shops, buy online from them, buy from the retailers if you want to, but just support physical media where you can. And I think we'll have a great 2024. So thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, stay healthy out there, and I'll talk to you guys soon.